but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots.
As a Bible scholar and a practicing Christian, I can confidently say with my whole chest, fuck ICE. And here's why I can say that. Because Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." And we have to understand that this blessing does not mean staying quiet, avoiding conflict, or making everyone feel comfortable. Jesus blesses the ones who disrupt harm and labor for justice. Too often, peace gets reduced to politeness. But here's what we have to understand. Keeping the peace is not the same thing as making peace. Silence in the face of violence and oppression is not peace. It's complicity. In Scripture, peace is never passive. In Hebrew, we see the word shalom, which means wholeness, justice, and restoration. In Matthew 5:9, Jesus is picking up on this idea of shalom when he says the Greek word eirenopoioi, which literally means eirene, peace, and poioi, makers of. When Jesus blesses the peacemakers, he is not blessing those who allow injustice to continue. He's blessing those who step in and speak up and embody shalom. We can see this in Matthew 23 when Jesus rebukes the scribes and Pharisees by saying, "You have neglected the weightier matters of the law, which are justice, mercy, and faithfulness, loyalty, allegiance." When Jesus rebukes these spiritual leaders, he's not keeping the peace. Instead, he risks his own life to name the ways in which religion was being weaponized to oppress rather than liberate. In John 2, we see that Jesus cleanses the temple. We see him getting really angry at the sight of these religious leaders taking advantage of the poor who have come to worship, and he flips these tables over. He makes a huge scene. Throughout the Gospels, we see Jesus witnessing oppression and stepping in and saying something. We see this in Jesus' crucifixion. Jesus undergoes a state-sanctioned execution, not because he was staying silent, not because he was being polite, not because he was keeping the peace, but because his life and teaching challenged political corruption, economic exploitation, and religious hypocrisy. Jesus is executed not because he's silent, but because he is a loud and public threat to the oppressive empire. The cross is the result of true peacemaking. To be a peacemaker means raising our voices and putting our bodies on the line for liberation. By speaking out against injustice and oppression happening in places like Gaza, Sudan, Ukraine, all over the world, and in our backyards in Minneapolis. The fact is, if we keep the peace, we protect the empire. If we make peace, we imitate Christ. So if you truly want to take up your cross and imitate Christ, it's time to get loud. It's time to get disruptive. Because being silent is complicit, and it's sure as hell not biblical, sis.